our information session for our 5th annual San Ramon Hackathon. And so I'm going to be the host today, and I'm going to try to answer any questions to the best of my ability. And today, we're going to go over some information about our upcoming 5th annual San Ramon Hackathon hosted by Green Apple. Registration ends June 11th, and the hackathon will be held virtually on Saturday, June 18th. I will be I have put the links and stuff in the chat, and I will be putting it again. And also, if you have any other questions at any time, feel free to put your questions in the chat or ask me after the end of the presentation. So I'll start. First, I'll be talking about our organization and our previous hackathons. So Green Apple Education Foundation is a high school student-run 50C3 nonprofit organization located in San Ramon and founded in 2017. We organized the annual San Ramon Hackathon, among other events. Our mission is to promote technology and innovation among youth, to raise awareness of education for underprivileged children, and to introduce young adults to opportunities to serve the world by technology and innovation. So a hackathon is an innovation competition where people come together to solve a challenge. It usually lasts 24 hours or takes place over a weekend. Hackers arrive in the event, they pitch their ideas, design and build their product in teams, and demonstrate what they built, including the software, hardware, their workflow, process, and others. And then winner is selected by a panel of judges. And so this is a kind of a description of a typical hackathon. And now I'll be talking about our hackathon and why it's unique. So the San Ramon Hackathon has been held since 2018, and we have a new theme every year. So then the participants will submit projects that are relevant to our theme. And so the reason our hackathon is a little bit different is that because we're trying to expose more young students to hackathons and other fun innovation events earlier on. We don't have any previous qualifications. Middle school and high school students are allowed to join, and it will be slightly more flexible as people will be able to work on their project beforehand and then submit it. So now I'll talk about this year's hackathon theme. As we all know, it's better health, better life. As we move towards the 3rd year of the COVID-19 pandemic, maintaining a healthy and active lifestyle is important while the world around us has adapted to limiting exposure to COVID-19. Eating right, physical activity, adequate rest, and taking care of our mental health not only improves our overall health and wellness, but makes us more resilient to COVID-19. So we thought this would be a very relevant topic for our current situation. And there's a lot of aspects of health, such as the physical, mental, emotional, and social. So they're all potential starting points for a project. And you can also think about target user demographics, such as age, needs, personal background, and other things when thinking about where you want to start for your project. So be creative. Judges will be looking for originality, innovation, and completion of the project. More details on judging will be talked about later. And examples and videos of previous hackathons and projects are up on the hackathon website, which I have also posted in the chat. So if you need any inspiration or you don't really know exactly what we're looking for, we have a few good examples on our website. So now we'll talk about how our hackathon this year will work. So for rules and event, as for participants, both an individual and team are allowed to register, and a team can have 1 to 4 members. And we do encourage for you to be working with more than one person, as the collaboration will help make the project be more fun, and also you can do it on a much larger scale. Please note that changes to team structure will not be encouraged after registration. And so some people have asked about if we can help make teams, but we still encourage your student or you to go find team members on your own, as this will make the project be a lot more fun, and you can it'll be more familiar and easier for you to work on the project. And so for the deadline for registering and submitting your project is June 11th, which is next Saturday. As for ideas, you're expected to come up with your own innovative ideas. Any ideas that have been copied or borrowed from any source, including but not limited to the internet sources, may not be considered for the finale. Materials, so what we would require you to submit include your team name, your team member names or name, video link, and or PowerPoint with the proper sharing settings and email to us. So what we're saying is that you can either submit a presentation or that you will present on the day of the hackathon, or you will submit a video that's no longer than 5 minutes that we will just play for you and for the judges to, and then, okay, I see a hand.
So the deadline, June 11th, is it the form deadline or is it the video deadline?
It's technically the registration deadline, but we also
Okay.
and the hackathon will be held on June 18th, and then we will be, encouraging and requiring the participants to be turning in their projects as soon as possible after the registration deadline. But yeah, it's technically the registration deadline. So you can, if you want to just commit 1 week to working on this project, you can register by that time and then start working on it then, and then return in your project as soon as possible. Does that answer your question?
And then is it like any project or is it like on a specific like
Topic?
is it on a specific place or like is it is that related to coding? Like you have to code to do it?
Well, not necessarily. It's not like you have to code, but it's like, so we're trying to have participants submit a project that is either relevant to the theme or something they're passionate about, and this project will be likely involve coding or require coding, but where it's not like our requirements for submission include like, oh, you have to code something, but most of the time the project that you will make will require or include coding.
And third question, does it have to be like a certain language such as Python or JavaScript?
No, you can, this is something that you or your team can choose choose yourself. So we don't have any specifications on the type of language you use or the type of, like, whether you have like a prototype or how complex your code is. We just want to see your final project and how well you've made something that will correspond to our theme of this year. Yeah, and I will be going over more information on the projects, what you need to submit, and more rules like that, like requirements further in the presentation. And anyone with any other questions, just put in the chat and I'll answer at the end. Okay, so I was just getting to this, the judge scoring rubric. These are a few things that judges will be looking for when they're scoring the project, including relevance, so how relevant the topic is, your project is to the topic, how original your idea is in solving the problem or issue we've presented, the ease of understanding and use, how user-friendly your solution is, or how well it solves the problem, solution completeness, so how developed the idea is, how implementable it is, and your presentation. If you are in the video or during the hackathon itself, if you are passionate about solving a problem or giving a thorough presentation explanation of your work process and then like how your project works. Okay, so for the awards, we have the cash prizes for the first, second, and third place winners. The first place will get 200, second place 150, and third place 100 as an encouragement for you to continue your journey on this technology and innovation. And judging panel will consist of industry professionals, so people that are well versed in these subjects and topics. And actually, I'll just go on. So how to register, registration on the Hackathon website is, so there's a registration link on the San Ramon Hackathon website at www.sanramonhackathon.org, but I also have put it in the chat, and I will put it in the chat again. And you can submit your slides and or your video to this email, hack.a.tech@greenappleus.org. This is where you will, enter your submissions. And in the email, as I've previously mentioned, please include your team name and team member names, your shared slides link, or like your video that's no longer than 5 minutes. And each team member must register separately, regardless of, if you're in a team, but each team member still has to register separately. So here is the flyer and additional information that I will continue to put in the chat, and I will answer a few more questions. But first, I wanted to talk about this crash course that a very experienced educator, Dr. Meng, is holding. The registration is closed, but if you still want to register for this course, you can contact us and we will arrange it. So here's any details for this course. You don't know previous coding experience is required for this course, and this will help you create a project. We'll teach you skills in coding and other important technology skills for creating a project, and also help you prepare for the hackathon if you wish to attend. So here is information on the course, and if you want to register still, then you can just contact us by email and we can arrange it. So even if you still don't have any coding experience, you can still participate, even if the project will likely require coding. And I see another question: when is the deadline of submitting the materials? So we just, as a rule, it's like usually as early as soon as possible. But because the registration deadline is June 11th, we basically allow up till Friday evening before the day of the hackathon event for the submission of materials. We still prefer if you submit as soon as possible, but yes, we allow teams to submit their projects as late as Friday evening before the day of the event. Yes, so that would be June 17th, and we will send out more specific details on both the video requirements and the submission deadlines. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to just directly unmute and ask, and I'll try to answer. I will, okay. Yeah, so as I've said, the deadline for project submission is June 17th, the day before the hackathon, and the time is 5 p.m. as one of our organizers have sent in the chat. And I will resend the links, registration link, and also our contact information. Oh.
Yeah, I have a quick question. How many judges are there?
I'm actually not 3 to 5 judges right now, and then we're still talking to a few of them, so it's not confirmed exactly how many, but yes, definitely 3 to 5 judges, and they're all very qualified. They will be present on the day of the hackathon to help choose the winners.
Another question. On June the 18th, are the teams going to make live presentation?
Yeah, so teams will make live presentations that will be no longer than 5 minutes, but if you can't make it due to like a time zone difference or due to some other conflict, you can pre-record a video of your team presenting your presentation or project that's no longer than 5 minutes, and then send it to us by the submission deadline, and we will just play the video for you and for the judges to score. And so I have seen another question in the chat that says you can't steal ideas. So basically it's the same thing as plagiarism. At school you can't plagiarize anything, but of course you can use information that exists and is provided to help you create your own project. And citing your sources is good, but it's not necessary for you to present the sources that you've cited to us. Like the judges don't need to exactly see which sources you've used, but it's good to always compile a list of sources. And I see another question on what time the hackathon will take place. And it is usually like around 9 to 12, but it also depends on how long the presentations end up running and how many participants we have, because if we have, a lot of participants, it'll be hard to keep the time really short. But yes, usually it's 9 to 12 or 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Yes. And then usually the winners will notify the participants of the winners after. So yeah, 9:30 a.m. the presentations start.
Hi, I just want to recap the deadlines. So June 11th is the registration deadline, which means it's the individual register through your website, but not necessary to be a team registration, right? And then if we have a like if we are formed a team, we don't need to submit the team information to you until the 17th, which
yeah, so the registration deadline, you're right, it is June 11th. And you don't have to have a team by June 11th, but it's because since it's only 1 week before, it'll be pretty difficult for you to for your team to just complete the entire project in 1 week. So yeah, so you can do the just individual registration by 11th, but each team member still needs to register by that time. So it's pretty hard to form a team afterward because each team member needs to register by June 11th.
yeah, and then for 17th, so we submit the PowerPoint or any video if we cannot attend the presentation on the next day, right? That's the second deadline.
Yes, 17th at 5 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I've seen a few more questions in the chat. Will a crash course provide the fundamentals for the hackathon? So yeah, the project can't start after the crash course is done. The crash course is actually you will be learning a lot of fundamentals of coding and basic concepts while creating a project that you can present for the hackathon. So actually the crash course will help you have a project for the hackathon. And if you attend this course, you'll likely be able to get your team from the participants of this course. There's another question, what general aspect of health? So again, you can go off of any aspect of health. So as we've said, we have physical, social, emotional, and mental aspects. These are all like types of health that you can focus your project on or go off of, or use as a starting point for your projects. So yeah, any aspect of health is allowed for your project. Does the presentation need to include a demo of the product? So the thing is that we don't require a completely finished like product that's like, it's just, we will encourage you to take this project as far as you can, but it's not like you have to have a completed product like by the day you're presenting. So no, you don't have to have a demo of the product, but it's really good if you have a prototype or some design or some like kind of like if it's an app, like some demo pages. And it's amazing if you do have a product, but it's not required for every project. So is the meeting done? Yeah, so if you don't have any more questions, you can just leave the meeting, and then just remember that if you think of a question later on, you can still email us and we will try to help you. And also, if you kind of forgot any information about if you forgot any information about like specific details like registration and you need registration links, or exactly what requirements, this is all on our website at www.sanramonhackathon.org. So, okay, at our website on the screen right here. So if you like later, you can check back for when you're doing your project or if you need more information.
If a team is giving live presentation, does the team still need to make a video?
No. So so a video is just like if you have a conflict and you can't present on that day, yeah, you can make a video. Or if you want to include small video clips in your presentation demonstrating certain things, if you need that to present your project, yeah, you can include that. But no, it's not like you have to create a video. So if you're presenting on that day, you don't need a video unless you want to. Yeah, it's not required.
So the judges will be asking questions after the presentation?
That's right. So the presentation will be 5 minutes, and then there will be approximately a 2-minute Q&A just with judges. So judges will ask a few questions and then about the project or the team, and then the team will respond. Yes. Okay. There is a question that says, can we choose our own teams or will they be assigned? Yes, we actually encourage you to choose your own teams. Because it'll be a lot better, more convenient, and will be more fun for you, and because you're more familiar with your team members. So yeah, we actually encourage you to choose your own teams. And just, I've only pointed out that we can help group teams, or that they will, if you choose to register for the crash course, that will help with your project a lot. Yeah, that you can help. I mean, that can help you with having teams. Just some people have asked us about like, oh, if my child doesn't have a team, will we be able to help them like group a team together? And so yeah, the answer is still, we encourage you to create your own team. But if you choose to register for the crash course, you might be able to assemble your team at that course. And if you really need help, we can see what we can do. But as of now, we encourage you to choose your own team. So yeah. There's another question. What content should be included in the presentation? So we actually, based off the rubric, that's the first thing, that's one thing you can go off of. I can go back to that right now. Back to the rubric. So anything that's, of course, the judges need an introduction to your project. So maybe like, it's not set, it's not like we don't have a complete, like you have to include these specific things, but you want to convey like the relevance, originality, and then like the use of your product, how complete your product is or project, how implementable it is. And so you want to convey these things to the judges. And so you can choose what things you want to include in your project to convey these things. And some things that you probably should include, are just like what specific issue are you're trying to solve, how does your thing work? What was some workflow processes that your team had, and etc. And if you need examples, there are sample projects on the Hackathon website, and I'll go back to that link right now. So yeah, there are example projects, winning award projects, and videos of them too. The videos of presentations, they're all on the website. So you can look at that if you need help with that. Yeah. I also see that there's a lot more people now than we had from the start. So, if anyone just missed anything, just ask, and then I can just go back and briefly explain it. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming. If you don't have any more questions right now, you can leave the meeting, and then if you think of any more questions or if you need more information, you can go back to the websites or email us. And all the flyers and other information is all on the websites that I can send in the chat once again. Yeah. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming and listening. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope this cleared up a few questions that people had. Yeah, anyone remaining, you can continue to ask questions if you still have them. Or if you don't have any more questions, again, you can leave the meeting and then just check back to the website or email us if you have any confusions or anything like that. Thank you for coming.